It happened on a cold morning in Seattle, long before the sun had risen. The city was still half asleep when a young woman named Emily Carter rushed through the nearly empty parking lot of a local diner. She worked the early shift every day, balancing 2 jobs just to support her sick mother at home. Her clothes always smelled faintly of coffee grounds, and her hands were constantly dry from scrubbing tables, but she carried herself with a quiet, unshakable dignity. That morning, as she approached the entrance, she noticed a man standing outside. He was shivering, exhausted, and clearly out of place. His clothes were wrinkled, his phone was dead, and his wallet was nowhere to be seen. To anyone else passing by, he looked like just another stranger having a rough night. But Emily stopped. She sensed something deeper behind his tired eyes, a story that wasn't immediately obvious. Without hesitation, she invited him inside the diner, offering him a warm drink and a place to sit. She didn't ask questions, didn't judge him, and didn't assume the worst. She simply showed kindness, even though she barely had enough money to make it through the week herself. It was a small gesture, but for him, it was everything. From across the room, the man watched her work. He saw her serving customers with a gentle smile, carrying heavy trays despite her small frame, and offering comfort to regulars without expecting anything in return. She had no idea that the stranger she'd just helped was Ethan Hale, a well-known tech millionaire who had vanished from the public eye after a personal crisis. He had fled a corporate event the night before, feeling overwhelmed, and ended up robbed and stranded in a city where no one recognized him. But Emily didn't know his name. She didn't care about his status. She only cared that he looked like he needed help. Her kindness was genuine, pure, and unconditional. The next morning, Ethan returned. But this time, he wasn't in torn clothes. He wore a clean suit that almost startled her. She barely recognized the man from the day before. He quietly thanked her for her kindness and left a generous tip. She tried to refuse it, completely unaware of the magnitude of the man standing before her. From that moment on, Ethan started coming back to the diner every single day. He would sit silently by the window, watching the world move outside while observing Emily's incredible strength and resilience. He learned about her mother's mounting medical bills, her secret dream of opening a small bakery, and all the sacrifices she made without ever complaining. He also saw how some customers took advantage of her kindness, how her managers overlooked her tireless efforts, and how life just seemed determined to weigh her down. And yet, through it all, she never lost her compassion. Weeks passed before the truth finally came to light. A news article flashed across a customer's phone, and there was Ethan's face on the screen. The diner staff suddenly realized who had been sitting quietly among them all this time. The headline read, "Missing Tech Millionaire Ethan Hale Resurfaces in Seattle." As whispers spread through the diner, Emily felt a strange sense of betrayal, not because of his wealth, but because she could understand why a man like him had chosen to sit in her humble diner, sharing the same quiet mornings as if he belonged to her world. It felt like a secret he had kept from her, and it made her question everything. But Ethan hadn't returned for publicity. He had returned because Emily reminded him of something he thought he had lost long ago: his humanity. In his world of numbers, deals, and profits, he had forgotten what it felt like to connect with someone on a purely human level. Emily, with her simple act of kindness, had shown him that again. One afternoon, he came to the diner with a small envelope. Inside was a deed to a modest building in the heart of the city. A bakery, fully paid for, renovated, ready to open. He asked for nothing in return. No publicity, no attention, not even her gratitude. He simply told her, "People like you make the world better. I just wanted to help you do more of it." Emily stood frozen, completely overwhelmed by the realization that a simple act of compassion offering warmth to a stranger on a cold morning had just changed the entire course of her life. The bakery opened a few months later. The community instantly fell in love with it. Her mother finally received the proper medical care she needed, and every morning, as the sun rose over Seattle, Emily would remember the day she helped a stranger without expecting anything back. She never bragged about knowing a millionaire. She never even mentioned his name. But every single time a struggling person walked through her bakery doors, she greeted them with the same warmth she had once offered him, because kindness, she learned, always comes full circle, often in ways no one expects. And that is how a single moment of compassion on an ordinary morning turned into the beginning of a story that would quietly transform to lives forever. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories that inspire. See you next time.